Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Conversations We Need to Have. We have a very special evening of conversation planned as we are going to be talking to some of the leading entrepreneurs in our city. We have some special guests who are going to jump on and tell us about their companies and their businesses. And I have two very special co-hosts who are going to help me navigate this platform tonight. We have Mr. Kenny Pratt. He's the CEO of Blueprint Productions, which is a multifaceted, state-of-the-art production company. We have Mr. Dominique Johnson. He is the CEO of the Urban CEO. He's the CEO of the Urban CEO. He's going to tell us more about that shortly. Gentlemen, how are you?
I'm great, sir. How about yourself?
Doing good. Now, let me go ahead and say this publicly. Now, it's an honor to have such greatness on one platform, and I must say that I am honored to have you guys on with me tonight because I know how busy your schedules are.
So quarantine got everybody slowed down.
Yeah. So it took a quarantine for me to get these gentlemen on, but I can appreciate it.
I don't know about that. I'm just happy you had time.
So, Dominique, first of all, tell us about your company and give us some insight about your company.
So the Urban CEO, man, it's a nonprofit that we started. We'll be 10 years old actually in 2021. And actually, the Urban CEO stands for the Community Empowerment Organization. It has now become like a brand. Most people consider me or call me the Urban CEO. It's like one of my people said, the Urban CEO personified. But man, we're basically about personal development that leads to community empowerment. So there are 4 areas that we're focused on, and that is education, leadership development, economic empowerment, and what I just said. Yeah, those 4 areas. Oh, and personal development. And so in looking at all those things, that's what we're about. Our premier or prime thing that we do, I should say, our signature program is what most people are hearing about. It's called the Urban Leadership Academy, ULA, which is a 7 to 8 month program that takes participants through through several sectors to get through. And I also have a for-profit called Seeds Global. That's where I do my coaching, mentoring, and team development. I work with companies and solidifying that for their companies.
Okay. So can you tell us how to reach you, or can you post something in the comment for people to reach you whenever you get a chance?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And we have Kenny Pratt, who is the CEO of Blueprint Productions. And he's doing a lot of things as relates to music production. We're going to get him to tell us a little bit about it. We'll also have a representative on from Blueprint shortly, so it's going to be a double take. Mr. Kenny Pratt.
How's everybody doing? I'm Kenny Pratt, the CEO of Blueprint Productions. A little bit about Blueprint. We were started off as a group of church musicians. Myself, Zach Williams, Andropolis Williams, as well as Ben Burney, Michael Burney. And we all had this passion for music, the passion to reach the community through music, mentoring, and other endeavors. And so we said, hey, let's get together, man. Let's start a business. Let's start a music production team. And so we wrestled with a name for about a month or two, Blueprint Productions. So we started in February 2015, and we offer services as like recording, mixing, mastering. We offer piano lessons. We do live events. We don't just play church music, even though that's what we all are known for. But we do outside engagements. We offer different media services. We offer preparation and recording for live streaming if your church is in need of production and during this quarantine, but anything you need musically, we do have quality product and we do have quality members who can get it done, as well as we're just now launching a mentoring program. Right now we have maybe about 10 people that we mentor musically, but we are instilling in them principles of life, financial principles, professional principles, as well as spiritual principles. Music is just a bridge that we're using to reach the world, because we're literally trying to change the world through music and mentoring. So that's Blueprint Productions in a nutshell.
Okay. And so what's special about tonight is we're going to have some just entrepreneurs. If you're watching and you're a business owner, you'll see a link in the description bar. Just click it. We'll bring you on to tell us about your business. We also have two very other special guests that we're going to bring on. We have Miss Arizona White and we have Miss Courtney B. She's a branding and marketing specialist. She's going to tell us more about what she do as well. And we have Miss Arizona White. And we're all just going to sit and answer some questions. So, Ms. Courtney, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your company.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, by the way. My name is Courtney Buchanan, and I am the founder of Courtney.co Marketing. It is a digital marketing firm based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I do, or specialize in, I guess I should say, social media marketing, digital advertising, website design, and consulting. Those are my four major areas, and that's specifically consulting for building your brand, furthering your web presence, or maybe you don't want anybody to manage your social media, but you want to learn how to do it yourself. So that all falls under consulting for me. Just a little bit about myself. I'm an HBCU grad, graduated with a degree in communications, public relations, then got picked up by a really, really rapidly growing digital marketing firm here in Atlanta. Worked for them for a few years, and then it was just placed on my heart to build something unique and special in and of and for my family, my legacy. And that's how Courtney.co was born.
Okay. And we have Miss Arizona White. She's going to tell us a little bit about her company and what she do.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I am Arizona White. I am the broker and owner of Gateway Realty Professionals in Macon, Georgia. I help people purchase homes as well as sell homes. I am also a marketing and management consultant. I help people start their businesses as well as grow their business or nonprofit or ministry. I've been in business for myself for about 15 or 16 years now. I went to college here in Macon at Wesleyan College. And right after college, I was a manager at a credit union. And during that time, I felt led to start my own business and have been working in it ever since then. I started Gateway Realty Professionals about 6 years ago. And there's about 5 other agents that work on my team with me. And we're just, happy to do whatever we can to assist people. Our passion is to assist people and to help them reach their dreams.
Okay, and I see that we have a few entrepreneurs who have already signed in, so we're going to bring on someone. And those of you, Ms. White, Mr. Pratt, Dominique, Ms. Courtney, just feel free to field some questions to them or share whatever advice you want to give them about their perspective or respective company. Mr. Raymond, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm well. So tell us a little bit about you and about your company.
All right. So my name is Raymond Forte. I'm 31 years old. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, but I currently reside in Phoenix, Arizona. I am the CEO and founder of Raymond Forte Enterprises, where we specialize in music, media, and ministry. So the music side, I'm a musician. I've been a keyboardist for 15 years. I'm also a singer and a producer. The media side of it, I do video production. So one of my clients includes Tara Carissa Hodges, who I do media music videos as far as video commercials for different preachers, and video editing for preachers, churches, and the ministry side. I'm a public speaker. I'm a licensed and ordained minister. I've been preaching for 13 years, and I'm also an author. My book Maximizing Mentally was released April 1st, 2020, and it is currently on Amazon, and it is on my website, theraymondforte.com.
Okay. So you have any questions for, or do y'all have any questions for Mr. Raymond, or what advice you could give him on expanding his brand or helping him build a bigger expansion of clientele?
I have one.
Go ahead.
I have one, and before I ask the question, I just want to applaud you for being a serial entrepreneur, because that's what you just described, and that is really, really amazing. How have you been able to pursue all of these different individual lanes, but yet brand for them as uniquely as the venue itself to which you're serving?
Well, let me first say this. I didn't know Zach was putting me on the hot seat, so I'm gonna get you later for this. Secondly, let me as far as like how I was able to brand it, it was just really just kind of really sitting down and really just focusing on where my strengths were, and realizing that it's still, me producing the brand. So I guess to answer your question, it was just really digging deep, really digging deep and discovering, what I was made of and my creative abilities and my creative strengths.
Gotcha.
I have a question for you. My question to you is, what drives you to want to be an entrepreneur? What's your driving force?
My driving for, well, number one is legacy, because I have a child on the way, and two, just leaving my mark, just being able to, say that I was able to leave something. I want it to be bigger, and I wanted, to expand. But what drives me is just really leaving something behind for my children to continue and for generations to be proud of.
Okay. I got one more question, then I'm gonna let somebody else speak, because I know Zach. I've seen Mr. Johnson at work via social media. I personally know Ms. White and her work ethic. And I'm just meeting the young lady, Miss Courtney, but I'm pretty sure she worked just as hard as everybody on this panel. So my question for you is, once you feel like you get your business to an appropriate, once your business prospers the way you want it to, how are you going to manage your free time? Because with being an entrepreneur, starting off, you got to do a lot of the legwork. Like, a lot of the legwork is yours. So once you build your team, how do you balance your free time and your work time? What's your plan?
Well, my plan, that's an excellent question. If this has to do with anything, actually, my plan is to go back to school, because I want to expand Raymond Forte Enterprises to a sports arm. So my goal is to go back to school for sports management. So I want to use that free time to go back to school for sports management, so that I could further expand my brand to the sports leg, so I can further expand, Raymond Forte Enterprises, if that makes sense. So further maximizing my time to learn and grow.
Yeah. That's great, man. Like, kudos to you, man.
So, Mr. Go ahead and put your information in the comment section, and we're going to go ahead and bring some other people on. But again, thank you for coming on and telling us more about your business.
Hey, Zach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the push. I appreciate it.
Raymond.
Mr. Raymond.
Yes, sir.
Don't go nowhere real quick. Zach, let me say one thing. Just one thing. Hey, let me ask you this. I just want to ask you this. You seem like a man with many attributes and many talents, like many people on here. So, you named, brother, probably like 20 things you're doing. What's going to be the one thing to get you out the hole? You don't have to answer that now. I want you to start thinking about the one thing so you can branch off into the other things. I'm not against multiple things, but I think in this age, particularly of COVID and everything else, like, I know Brittany is branding. I know Kenny and Zach are music. Hear me. It's not I think the only way we can get stronger is if we say, hey, start narrowing it down just a little bit, so now you can dig your root into something, and then those other things will come. Because these days people really want you to be a master. It can be several things, right? So you see now, like Bishop Jakes, he go into preach and he do that. But his main thing, he mastered the art of communication, and then it opened up other doors. So don't hear me. I know some people may not agree with that for life, so I can ride with that. But I know for me, I think if you center on one thing, become a master in it, it may be that. And sometimes what we want to do, we kind of like try to tell ourselves, I can do it all, I can do it all. And I get it. You're multifaceted, bro. So I'm not telling you that. I think what I'm just saying is, what's this one thing that, yeah. Because the truth of the matter is, and I don't want to overtalk it, so I know, like Zach said, we got other people. Well, hey, man, I salute you, man. Blessings. And at least you've done something I hadn't done. So I ain't, hey, you wrote a book, and everybody keep telling me I got 2 or 3 in me. So I salute you.
I got a second book on the way called "What Dad Didn't Teach Me, Divorce Did." So that's really what I'm honing in on. So yeah, my authorship. But I appreciate that advice though. That's information.
This book called The One Thing. Get this book called The One Thing. It'll help you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Raymond, we have one more question, but Mr. Johnson, is there a way that you do virtual, like for the Urban CEO? Is there a virtual component to that maybe people who are not local can participate and sign up for that?
That's good, Zach. I'm gonna be honest
really
with
help
you. Zach, that's good. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. We were about to get ready to move into that phase. It caught us like everything is. It caught us with our pants down, and so as we're growing. So the quick answer is no, but we're working on it. Let me get that.
Okay.
We're talking, but man, anytime I give you one free coaching session, the rest of it you gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yes, sir.
fine.
All right. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, one more question, Raymond, from Ms. White.
Okay.
Hi, Raymond. Hey, I just have a quick question for you. And I admire your tenacity. I admire the fact that you are multifaceted and are able to do multiple things. I believe that God has made many of us multi-gifted and multi-talented. So I admire that and I applaud that you're able to manage all of those things. But my question for you is, how is the legal structure of your business set up? And you don't have to answer that on the air, but do you have them under one umbrella, or do you have separate entities that you're operating with separate names and separate tax identification numbers, or are you doing it under one name, one entity, and you just have them operating under different divisions? So that's one thing that you probably want. You have it under one. Okay. Do you have a website or multiple websites? So these are the things I want you to think about, because I too, I have more than one business, so I understand the challenge of that. But you also have to figure out, how do I mesh them all together so that my brand is still consistent? So
quick answer, everything's on one website, theraymondforte.com. So
okay.
And everything's under Raymond Forte Enterprises. So anything music, ministry, and media that I can do, it's all under the entity. But I appreciate that question.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Raymond.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, so thank you guys so much. We actually have a very, very special young man who I was seeing on social media, and I personally reached out to him and asked him to come on and talk to us tonight. Mr. Farley, how are you?
Hey. Oh, good.
That's good. Now tell everybody where you're from.
Huh? I was born in South Korea, and right now I'm in Virginia.
Okay. Now tell everybody what it is that you do and what you have going on.
So, my name is Lennox Farley, the author and original illustrator of The Magic Microwave.
Okay. Now, what is the book? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, why I wanted to write the book, because we saw WPBS was having a contest, and so I wanted to enter it. And I won first place for second grade, and then my book got released on April 4th this year.
Okay, what's the name of it again?
Huh?
What's the name of your book again?
The Magic Microwave.
Okay. Give us a summary of what it's about.
So when my mom puts food in the microwave, it'll take you to other cultures.
Oh wow, that's
dope.
very
That's nice.
that's very creative.
Man, I almost got tears in my eyes.
Yeah. So how did we get I see, is that your mom over there? Hey mom.
Hi. Yes. Hi, everybody. How are you?
We're good. Great job. Great job.
Thank
So
you.
how can we purchase this book? Can you
Yes.
tell us, and when you all get off, can you post it in the comment section?
I
So we
will. So this kind of fell in our lap. So I just, it's nothing but God. He literally, we used to live in upstate New York. We're a military family, so we've traveled a lot. And Lennox was saying he's a little nervous tonight, but he was born in South Korea, and now we're currently stationed in Virginia. But I'm from Atlanta, born and raised, and his dad is from Milledgeville, Georgia. So he was actually on the news in Milledgeville for his book release. So we released the book on April 4th, and then they featured his book release party because we were supposed to fly to Atlanta for the book release party, and then COVID hit literally that weekend on April 4th, and they shut everything down, so we couldn't travel, so we had to cancel the party. But it turned into a blessing because then he got on the news, so we had a virtual book release party, and that saved us $1,000 because we didn't have to get a venue anymore. So it
Wow.
kind of worked out. But yeah, he has a story on 13 WMAZ in Macon. So you can find him on their website. It's the 8-year-old from Milledgeville, but we know his parents from Milledgeville, but he was born in Korea.
Okay.
And so you can purchase his book. We self-publish because we wanted him to own all his rights. So we shopped around trying to find publishing companies, and we did some research. And I am not an author. I am not a publisher, but I know business, and his dad does too. So once we researched everything, it was more economical for us to push it. And thank God we had to save money for years for him to have a business. And this kind of fell in his lap. So when we were living in New York, the WPBS kids were having a writer's contest. So I knew he loved to draw and read. And so the contest said they had to write their own story and illustrate it. So we did it. We found out about the contest actually late. So 2 weeks before it ended, we found out about it. So he was in 2nd grade at the time. And so when he got home from school, every day we would write and draw. He would do it over and over again, creating a story. And then we submitted it, and he won first place. He actually got a perfect score out of like 130 or 150 kids. And so after that, we were like, oh, we have something here. So as a joke, we said, let's get this book turned into hardback for his birthday. For his 8th birthday, we'll just get one book made. And then people kept asking us about the book because they saw him on PBS website. And then we said, okay, well, let's try to publish it. And then we started researching publishing, and we noticed, especially if you need illustrators, it was a lot of money. And if you try to go with a publishing company, you basically would get maybe 10%, especially like something like Amazon. So we decided to back him. His dad gave him the money, and the rest was history. So currently he's sold books in 3 different countries, all over the U.S., pretty much all over the East Coast. And you can purchase the book by going to his Instagram page, which is Magic Kid Author. He's also on Facebook, the Magic Kid Author, and I'll type it as well. But you can purchase the book through PayPal, or you can go to the Cash App Magic Kid Author.
Oh wow. So y'all have any questions for Mr. Lennox or his mom? I mean, you're doing
I
a
don't have.
great job. Like that's
I don't have a question.
Thank you.
I just want to say, man, you are amazing. I think that's super awesome, man. And I was just talking to some of my partners in business last week about African American authors. Like, where can we find the books? Because I would like to start a YouTube channel just reading kids' books to kids. And so for me, make sure you put your cash out in the comments, because I'm going to buy your book, and your book is going to be the first book that I read.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
definitely. I'll be the second person to buy his book off the channel.
Thank you.
But yeah, so any questions for Mr. Farley?
Well, first, I would like to say congratulations, Mr. Farley, and to the momager.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Mom said, can we come on? Because it's almost his bedtime. I love that. But I just want to say, as a mother of young entrepreneurs as well, that I commend you all for the work that you've done. And I know that the best is yet to come. So I want to ask you, Lennox, do you have any aspirations to write other books, or do you think you're going to write any more books along the way?
I'm going to write
Okay.
other books. I'm
Okay.
working on one now.
Ooh.
Okay. Do you care to tell us what that was going to be called? Or do we have to just wait and see?
I'll give you a hint. It's
Okay.
about sports.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, we definitely look forward to seeing that. And we will certainly make sure that we purchase your books and that we'll continue to follow you and support your work. So thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Lennox, I got a question for you. How old are you?
Huh?
He said, "How old?"
How old are you?
I'm 8.
You're 8. How much time do you spend outside knowing that you're a young book writer? Like, how much time do you play? Because I know that it takes a lot of time to write.
How often do you go outside?
I go outside like most of the time.
He's
So-
still is a like typical 8-year-old, and he's actually
Okay.
a sports fanatic. So if you want to go toe to toe about sports history, he can go. So he actually, so when he did the book release party on the news, so right after we finished filming, he literally ran outside to play. So I laugh because I'm like, our neighbors probably don't even know what we got going on in this house. So he still has a good balance of making him, he'll write a little bit and then go on. I still want him to have his childhood.
Yeah. So who's your favorite sports team in basketball?
The Celtics and the Bulls.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much. We know it's past your bedtime. So, Mom, thank you for letting him go past his bedtime to talk to us tonight.
Thank you.
Salute.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Salute, Young King.
Send the cash out.
Yes.
Please
Go
don't
ahead and
everything
post.
in the comments.
Will do. I'm posting it now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for this platform. This is awesome. I'm going to still stay on. Thank you for all the tips.
Oh, of course.
Have a
I'm sorry. But yeah, so thank you. We're waiting on some more entrepreneurs to come in. But so can y'all give us some tips as far as like the music industry? Mr. Pratt, has the music industry taken any hits with the quarantine and with there being no live performances? How can a musician cope with the I guess the slowness of what's going on?
Okay, so realistically, has the music industry taken a hit? Yes, it has. It's slowly coming back because of the CDC guidelines and things like that. But as far as overall work, yes, it has because of the virus, of course. Now, for myself, and I say this humbly, I don't just participate in one activity. Music is not my only stream of income. So that's the first tip for musicians. Have another stream of income. I mean, whether it's $100, $500, $1,000, $1 million, have another stream of income. Another tip is to save. $20 a week add up, $10 a week add up. But save. Because I know for me, I personally, I took a family hit, and by the grace of God, my little nest egg, it's sustaining me. So, yeah, man, save, like literally save. And so, and musicians and creatives, if you do not come out of this quarantine, if you don't come out of this pandemic with any other skills, this whole time has been in vain. Like you should be doing something with yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. I feel like we have been given time to learn a different craft or to literally excel and slingshot, musically. So that's my advice. We should be learning new things. We should be coming out better, and save your money because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, I do know me and Mr. Pratt have been collaborating off the scene, and I think we picked up like 4 or 5 different new skills since we've been in quarantine. So we're excited to be announcing a few things in the coming days and coming weeks, and a collaborative effort that we have going on. Miss Courtney B. So how important is branding with for a business or for a company or organization? Branding and the digital aspect of marketing. How important is that from your perspective for a business?
So branding says to people, this is who I am, right? It is your mouthpiece before you ever have to actually speak and say a word. So branding in that sense is extremely important. And what's exceptionally great right now is digital is booming because that's how you're getting in contact with people in the midst of all this COVID stuff. I know when a lot of people went into quarantine, my life got, I'll say maybe 10 times busier because that was their only connection point to their potential customers and to their potential clients. So it's really, really important to have a digital presence. It's extremely important to have a cohesive brand because it gives something called credibility, digital credibility to your brand. And it makes people trust you more.
So, Ms. White, how important is the legalities? And we all know how important that is, but can you sort of talk about why it's important to take the time on the front end to do what's necessary to legitimize your business?
Absolutely. It's extremely important if you want to have longevity, if you want to be able to sustain your business for years and years to come, to be able to leave a legacy. It is important that you do it right the first time. So I tell people, don't get in such a big hurry. You have this great idea and you're just ready to launch it. No, make sure that you're protecting yourself, protecting your personal assets, and make sure that you do things the right way. It is very important. No one wants to have those letters coming from the IRS or, coming from the city saying that you are not doing things properly. So it is very, very important. If you plan to be in business, it's very important to strategically plan on the front end so that you're able to stand and withstand for the long term with your business. And even as Mr. Pratt was saying earlier, it's important that as you're planning to have multiple streams of income. As an entrepreneur, you have to plan in advance for pandemics. You have to plan in advance for recessions. Especially myself, I've been in the real estate industry for 12 years, and I started during a recession. And so I know that had I not planned properly, had I not saved, had I not looked down the road and just not across the street, then I know that I would not still be in this business. It's very important that you do that planning up front so that you're able to withstand and overcome when things such as pandemics come along. So savings is so important, and having multiple streams of income, even if it's that one business, you have to plan from the beginning. How can I branch off of this business to create something else that's still within the same brand, still within the same industry, but how can I create multiple streams from this one business entity? And that starts all at the very front end with planning.
Okay. And Mr. Johnson, can you just speak briefly to the need for solid leadership? And by leadership, I mean the ability to delegate if you're working with a team of people versus and talk about the balance that's needed when running a business, because a lot of people can become consumed with success so they forget to actually do a mental check. So can you just speak to that for 1 second? Then we have an entrepreneur that we're going to bring on.
Okay, that's good. First of all, let's read this quotable. Look down the road, not across the street. I'll be using that soon, probably in the sermon. But anyway, Zach, that's a great question.
Just give me credit, bro. That's all. Just give me credit.
First time.
Pay it for it.
Hey, that's right. Hey, Zach, that's a great question, man. That's what we do a lot with Urban CEO. And so I think when you start talking about leadership, I think the first thing you have to do is really get clear on who you are and what your skill sets are. and then you want to build a team around your weaknesses. And so, you have to know. It's like for me, I do 2 or 3 things well. That's it. I vision cast, I build teams, and I teach. Other than that, that's about it. So I need someone to be in the weeds and those things. One of the things we do with ULA, we do personality tests. You're bigger than those 4 letters. Don't get me wrong. But if you don't know who you are, your proclivities, you can tend to try to act out in an area or some type of way that you don't that's not natural to you, and that would cause most teams to fall. So first of all, the leader has to be very self-aware. They have to be emotionally intelligent to know their triggers, and you have to also know, even in this grind culture, because I say it sometimes, I have to think about it. Like, it's okay to chill sometimes too, like, because you have to unplug so you can replug. And we all have heard this, recreation and recreation are the same thing. And it's okay to go out and just shoot a basketball, get your ice cream or something and chill, because it's in that time your brain is relaxed. It gets to think. And so I know we have an entrepreneur waiting. So I want to say leadership is very important. My number one would be self-aware of who you are, what you're called to do, and what's your giftings.
Okay. Appreciate that, Mr. Johnson. We have Miss Jamise Terry on.
Hello.
How's it going? So tell us about your business, where it's located, how can we support, whatever questions you may have for our panel, whatever panel questions our panel may have for you.
Okay, great. My name is Jamise Terry. I'm the owner of Commander and Chic Style Boutique, and we are located in Warner Robins on Watson Boulevard. It's 1128B Watson Boulevard on the lower end of Watson near the base. We also we do like a pop-up shop inside of Ambitious Graphics downtown in Macon. We're a clothing store. We carry men and women's clothing, and that's about it. And we do personal styling.
Okay. So y'all have any questions for Ms. Terry as far as her business? Can you make sure you post your contact information
Sure.
in the comment section, please?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been in business?
This is our 4th year.
Okay.
We've had a brick and mortar for 2 years.
Okay. How's that going? Did you see a difference from the online platform to the brick and mortar model?
Mm-hmm. We still are online, of course, which has saved us tremendously during COVID. And yeah, there is a difference there. We do get a lot of foot traffic there in Warner Robins, but we get more foot traffic in Macon. And I think that's because we do a lot of fashion shows and things of that nature in Macon.
Okay. Okay. Any questions for Ms. Terry? Or any questions for our panel?
I'll ask a question. Hi, Miss Terry. How are you?
Hey, Arizona.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay. Well, great. Well, it's good to see you. And, I follow you all and I love what you all are doing. So my question for you is, how did you all determine who your target market is? Like, did you all do any type of surveys, or how did you determine what style of clothing that you should purchase, and who your clients are, who your customers are?
2 things, probably. We wanted to be true to who we are individually within fashion, the things that we like, the things that move us in fashion. Because I have a partner, her name is Brittany Gertman, which I probably should have said at the start, sorry. So we both have our own unique style. So we wanted to bring that to the table first. We draw different customer bases individually. So it brought us the churchy clients, customers, and also, the juniors and that kind of in between. So we service a very wide customer base, but we try to pinpoint and try to stay in the middle ground.
Okay.
Courtney, what would be your advice?
Say that one more time.
I said, what would be your advice?
My advice is in this moment where, you know, everybody's still kind of stuck at home, we're able to kind of sort of get out, use this time to really build on your digital brand. Digital is so massive when it comes to e-commerce. I heard you say that having online has really, you know, kind of helped sustain you, but it may be, you have the opportunity to grow beyond just sustaining you. Making that a truly a major part of your profit margin by putting yourself out there, potentially getting an advertising strategy where you're getting your clothes in front of like-minded individuals of those that you're selling to now who just don't know that you exist yet. So my advice to you is to really revisit and look at your digital strategy to make your online business prosper and make it really a pinnacle of your company rather than just, you know, kind of, oh, we have that too. Making it a really big forefront, because online means, you know, everybody and anybody can become a customer, which is amazing.
Very good advice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, when is the online fashion show?
We need to be doing that. You are right. You are right. We have been doing a lot of live shopping. We tried to bring that experience to Facebook and to Instagram when COVID pretty much was in the middle of hitting. We need to continue that. We also, I do like that idea. That's very good. Thank you. We need to be working on that right now.
I have another question. Now, do you guys are you guys actual fashion designers where you guys come in and do the tailoring and you guys design clothes for people, or do you guys I don't know, I don't want to say the wrong term because I don't know the
Do you do wholesale?
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. We do a little bit of both. We do a lot of wholesale. And when we do our style sessions for our personal clients that we do styling for events and things of that nature, we link up with the designer and we get a concept together. I give that to the designer because I sew, but I don't sew professionally. So I give her the design and she creates the vision that I give her. So we do, you know, things that are tailored for our client. I do a little bit of alterations and stuff as well. So
I'd also like to add, just as a tip, as a potential additional stream of revenue, is a lot of people want to get to where you are and they want to know, you know, how you've been able to harness whatever avenues of marketing that you're doing, and what's your setup, what's your business structure, what does your day-to-day look like. And in this time where we kind of sort of have, you know, hopefully some more time on our hands, I implore anybody to build out an e-course right now. Sit down, write out everything that you know, put it together, package it into something, whether it's a digital download or you can even lock YouTube videos and send people just to your YouTube links for them to, you know, be able to access your course, whatever it may be. But using that to empower other people right now with some of that extra time.
Right. Okay. That's very good as well. We do have a YouTube channel, and I actually have a meeting with someone about kind of guiding them on our path of what we've done. Just trying to help them get started also in fashion on Saturday, actually. So
are you charging for that?
I'm not.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got, like Courtney said, you've got to monetize it. There's value in that. Your time is valuable, and the experience that you have is valuable. Monetize that. That's what we're talking about with those multiple streams of income.
I know I'm so bad at it, but I do need to start monetizing, because I'm just like, yeah, just come by, I'll talk to you. But yeah, I do need to.
And I actually have so many passion projects or projects for the heart, however you want to describe it, that I take on where I don't charge for it. And I will continue to do that. And I know for myself, I'm kind of like you, no, just take it. Yep, take that too. So I have to put a cap on myself, like Court, every quarter, This is your cat. This is it. Determine who those people are, invest in those people, and then next quarter reset. So that's helped me, make sure that I'm putting a price to myself and getting the value, for my work. That's helped me.
That's right. Right. It is very important to do that. And it's of course, as a business owner, you want to give. Every month or you plan to give. So you go ahead and plan that out, that you're going to give, whether it's a workshop or it's a free product or service. Make that a part of your business plan. But also you have to let people know that I'm doing this for free for a limited time. And after that, there is a cost to that. And that actually increases your value, and it also increases your demand. So you just have to make sure that you're planning for that too. Plan to give as well.
Because what I was going to say, we do have another entrepreneur waiting. But what I was going to say, I know for me, it's very, it's a thin line for me trying to figure out my value. I'm not going to say I'm the smartest person in the world, but I'm almost there. So
that's all right.
So how do you monetize knowledge? In a sense where do you draw the line between, okay, I'm going to start charging you for consultation versus I'm going to give you this free advice? Like, how do you manage that? Even as a musician, and even as musicians, preachers, etc. How do you say, without seeming like the bad guy, that, well, I can't come and pay for you, I can't come and do this because you can't meet my expectation of what the value that I put on myself. So how do you handle that?
For myself personally, go ahead, bro.
Let me go ahead and let Miss Terry go ahead and go. Thank you, Miss Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Miss Courtney.
Okay, I was gonna say, I have a little rule. If I can't answer you with less than 5 minutes of thought, then I'm gonna send you my Calendly link. Let's do that free initial consultation and maybe move into a consulting space. That's kind of been my rule of thumb for myself. Because sometimes those questions get real detailed and really borderlining on me creating a strategy for you to then implement, which means it's really taking me some time because now I have to sit down. I'm bringing in, all my pieces of knowledge. I may even need to do some market research for you in your particular industry to make sure that I'm up on trending game, right? So anything for myself that takes me longer than 5 minutes to answer or give my thought and opinion on, that's when I'm like, hey, I'm gonna send you my calendar link, and let's go from there. So that's what I've been doing for myself.
As a musician, I feel as though the way we would handle that initial consultation versus giving away free information, we would literally sit down and get the goals of that particular musician or aspiring musician and see how doable they are or how reachable they are. And of course, being in our line of work as a musician, it's always, show me, prove it to me that, I'll leave with this. So for us, it's initial consultation, get the goals, set up a plan. Then after that, then we target to the numbers. So if you want to play at all 12 keys in 6 months and you still transposing, right now, okay, well, what I could do is I can show you a video of a client that we have, or I can show you some things that we offer. But once you get into, well, how do I do this? Now that's where we start charging. Once you get into the practicals and the technicalities of whatever it is, now we have to charge you because now you're digging into our information bank. And so we got to get you.
Yeah. Hey, Zach.
Yes, sir.
I think that definitely have multiple approaches. As Courtney said, now if you're a solopreneur or kind of just a one-man, maybe two-man team, you definitely, hey, here go my link. That says we grow and you some person like John Maxwell, right, or somebody like that, you have that heart, passion, and you might can't tell them, hey, no. So you have a team member, hey, talk to such and such right here, and they'll set you up on my calendar, and they'll send you information. So that's the initial. The other thing is sometimes when you sit down and say, okay, from January 1 to December 30th or 31st, how much do I want to make in this year? Okay, if I want to make that much in this year, I need to do these many events, and then this is what I need to charge per hour. How you decide what you charge per hour, a lot of time can be based on your expertise. I know, for instance, Arizona has an MBA. She has certain qualifications. She has certain that. So you got to pay for all them letters behind her name too. Or you should, right? Like TJ Hudson just said, if you don't value, nobody else will. But you break it down like that, and you just say, hey, look, this is it, because I gotta, as Courtney said, I gotta go market search. I gotta do that. For me, maybe being a public speaker or somebody who coming in doing some training, I gotta add in everything now. I gotta add in my hours of preparation. I gotta add in the book, all that if I come. And you just gotta know where you are in the market right now. That doesn't mean you belittle yourself at all. But like, let's take Eric Thomas right now, right? Motivational speaker Eric Thomas. He had 50,000 a pop, 50K. He didn't start at 50K though. So he had to understand his levels to this.
You
So
got
sometimes you gotta take it off. So I would say that I don't want to get it lost in sometimes set it up to where, okay, this is what I want to make this year. This is what my degrees or whatever my thing, and this is how much it costs me per hour, right? And a lot of times, let me be honest, and I know we got the other entrepreneur, here we come. A lot of times, at the end of the day, and I feel this right here, all of us on here, we undercharge what we were. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, most of us do. Like, you got Pratt, boom, use that. I mean, come on, man. But at the end of the day, you have to, it's your values, your time. You know, we spend it, some of us on here I don't know if everybody got kids, but we taking time with my kids, all that stuff. People got to start realizing that. And we can do that, honestly, without trying to, like, pimp people. But I think for the most part, that's what you have to do. How much I want to make, let me break this down by hour.
Okay, so we're about to bring on another entrepreneur, Miss Jonalyn Browning. How's it going? You on mute?
You on mute?
Sorry.
How's
Hi.
it going?
Good. How about you all?
Pretty good. This is one of my friends right here, so y'all be nice to her. So, how's it going? So tell us what you do.
I am the owner of two businesses. I have one called Essence Designs and Customizations, and I have one called Blessed Wrist. Essence Designs actually started a year ago, and it kind of fell in my lap, kind of like the young man earlier. I'm a basketball coach here in Macon, Georgia, and I needed to create t-shirts for my basketball team when we won a championship. And at the time, I had no avenues of doing so, and I didn't want to make them myself. So I said, maybe I'll just buy the materials and make them myself. And then here it is. Now I have a business out of it. So I customize t-shirts, apparel, mugs, anything, you name it, I can customize it. And so it actually started off kind of slow in the beginning. And then in March, I lost my brother to suicide. And when that happened, I decided to take a few of his designs that he helped me create and start marketing those. And then the company took off, and it took off very, very fast. And so that's kind of where I guess you could say my market is now. It's called the Weirdo line. He always called himself Weirdo, and so he drew several designs, and so now I'm just continuing those designs that he drew as an actual brand. And so my goal in the future is to eventually get that brand in stores in honor of suicide awareness. And then my second business I've been in for about 3 or 4 years is holistic wellness. I sell crystals, I sell sage, I sell spiritual candles and so forth for the holistic side of things. So those are my businesses.
So any questions for Ms. Browning? as far as how, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, it's not a question, just a comment. How you seize the moment, because sometimes things will kind of come our way, and dare I say, like that perfect product will pop up, right? And the climate around that product is really, really well, but something happens and we just don't take that step to move forward. So I just want to applaud you for moving forward amidst the climate that was around you, and seeing that need and jumping on it. And as people, continue to purchase more, you continue to produce. I just want to applaud you for that.
Yeah, I want to just say that too. From taking your pain into purpose, and I continue to pray for your healing. I know it seemed like you and your brother were close. I can just tell you started trying to fight back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel I want to start joining in with our pastor. I wanted to tell you that I don't have a question at the moment, but keep grinding. But do, as I say, like Zach asked me earlier, do take some time to make sure your mental health is well as an entrepreneur. All right. I mean, I know you do, but yeah. All right. I had to say that because people be like, I got to grind.
Oh, yeah. No. Zach is not going to let me grind.
Nah. I'll try. So if no more questions from Ms. Garner, thank you so much. And
I have a question.
Go ahead.
And this is to anybody. I wrote down questions, sorry. So what's the best way? So I have two businesses, and now I kind of don't want to have them separate anymore. I want to figure out a way to merge them. So like, what's the easiest route to do that? I just got my LLC for both of them. So I've heard like different ways to do it and so forth. So if somebody has any advice for that.
I was asking like an Arizona question.
Yeah, that's an Arizona question.
Well, I guess the fact that you already have two LLCs, if you're going to combine them, then you don't need both of them. But I guess you've got to figure out a name that will, and this is a Courtney thing, that would be able to brand both of those products at the same time. And just off the top of my head, I feel like your line for your brother is For Your Healing. The things that you're doing for your sage business and, all of those crystals and things like that, For Your Healing. That's the name that I hear. But if there's a way that you can name it so that it does cover both entities, and then you can market and brand them both under that same name, and do away with one of the LLCs. So that way you save on the expenses. You don't have to cover the cost of that annual renewal fee for both of those LLCs, and you don't have to have a separate tax identification number. You can have one bank account for both of them, and it does make it easier to market and brand your business and to be able to stay focused if you do have them under one entity. So that would be my suggestion. So you would probably have to come up with a different name to be able to make that work.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I love that name, For Your Healing, by the way. That's really, really good.
That's off the dome.
Right. I know I'm really big. I like versatility and I like not being boxed in. So my company is Courtney.co marketing, but Courtney.co by itself, that could be a clothing line. That could be pins. That could be planners, it has so much potential and possibility. So definitely just finding something that encompasses both items, as well as leaves you room for extension. And I think if For Your Healing is it, that's good. That's a message on a t-shirt that inspires me. That is an oil or some incense that, again, purifies and cleanses. That's books, that can really, really go far and wide.
Thank you.
So thank you, Ms. Brown, and we'll definitely be in touch. Post your information in the comments so that we can support.
Will do. Thank you.
So we have another entrepreneur that we're going to bring on, Leanne. So go ahead and tell us what it is that you do.
So I kind of started a business on accident. It's called Scripted by Nee. I do handwritten messages on little canvases that you can purchase like you would normally purchase them in Hobby Lobby, but I create them, I spray paint them by hand, and I can also customize the messages. And it has really been a very big thing for me because I had one customer who had a scripture that was very personal to her. She had been going through some things in her life and she wanted that particular scripture. And, you know, if you go in Hobby Lobby or into any other store, you can't customize something. So it's really been a blessing to me to be able to bless others. So I have these small sizes and I have the larger ones. And all of these are hand painted and scripted by me.
So any advice for Ms. Leanne, and she has very close ties to the lineage of Madam C.J. Walker as well. So,
anyway.
Yes, any advice for Ms. Leanne?
I have a question. Because with the painting and the different customizations thing that you do, how do you find a reasonable price? Because I look at that as an artist type thing, and me in the music field, you know, it's almost like an artist type thing as well, and it takes more time to create than to sell it. So my question is, how do you find your reasonable price for your gift?
So this little business is very new. It actually, like I said, started on accident because I have a new job. I'll be a music specialist from moving out the classroom. So in my office, I decided I wanted to make my own painting. So I just spent the evening painting and then scripting. And I said, oh, these look cute. Let me post them on Facebook. And it kind of, you know, I had so many shares and people were inquiring about buying them. So I just had to, like, off the rim, think of a price. And in my mind, I'm like, you know, anything will make me happy because I was actually just doing these for fun. So that's something that I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still very new. This actually only happened last Sunday. Last Sunday, I posted the video and started, you know. So it's a work in progress. We'll see. What do you think they should be worth? Because I mean,
go ahead, Brent.
For me personally, it was TJ Hudson made a comment about valuing your time as a creative. Now you have to look at this. Number one, you're doing something literally tailor-made for someone else. So that off rip, I feel it bumps your prices up a little past Walmart or whatever, Hobby Lobby or whatever store, Kirkland's, it don't matter, whatever store you admire when it comes to those things. But what I would do is go and check out some different, just check out the market for the prices, and even research on Google independent artists and, you know, how they price their stuff. The second thing you want to take into account is how fast can you get, you know, your product to these people, your turnaround time. Realistically, most people would say, well, how long have you been doing this? But this is art, you know, art don't have no specific time on it. So I would honestly say, because it's custom, I would definitely charge a little more than, you know, the general stores, without, you know, knocking people in the head. But I would definitely charge a little more than the general stores.
Okay. I'd actually like to add on to that as well. I'm a really big advocate for research and also knowing who your target audience is. And you kind of said this, you know, just started and fell in your lap. If you have not had the opportunity to sit down and say to yourself, who do I want to be buying this product? Then I think this is the perfect time to do that. And when you know who you want to buy it, that will also help you figure out where your price should fall.
Yeah, I think too, and this may be, I don't want to say moving too far ahead, but the question has to be asked is, Is it just going to continue to be a side hobby, or you going to go all the way in?
Well, I was actually going to, I was going to be a part of my question, but what I was going to ask leading up to that was, because I know Leanne, so this question is sort of shady towards her, but whatever. What do you say to a person who maybe have a fear? You see, as business leaders and entrepreneurs, you see that they have a good product, but what do you say? What advice do you give to a person who's just sort of nervous about the, I guess, what they perceive owning your own business to be like?
I would like to answer that. The first thing, Miss Leanne, is when you spoke about your business, you said this little business. And I don't want to be preachy or anything. However, life and death is in the power of your tongue, and you frame your world with your words. So I want you to rethink the way that you're thinking about your business. It's not your little business. This has the potential to be a huge, big business. So that's how you have to think. That's the first thing, is that the way you think and the way that you speak is what's going to frame your future. So that's number one. And the other thing is multiple, you said you're an educator, right? I'm a big proponent of multiple streams of income. This can be as big as you make it. This can be as big as you make it. And when you're thinking about pricing, you want to look at it from a business perspective. What is the cost of the goods? How much am I paying for the products and the supplies? How much time? And so you've got to actually sit down and calculate the cost. So how much are you spending on supplies? How many hours does it take you to do one particular painting? And then you add value to that. You calculate what it costs you monetarily, and then you put a dollar sign to your time. And so as an entrepreneur, again, it's all about how you envision it. This is your vision. This is your baby. You've given birth to something. And so your baby can only go as far as you will take it. And so don't be afraid, get rid of the fear, get rid of the small thinking, think big, because this has the potential to be amazing. So you can certainly do it, and your work is great. So, get it out there, and the rest is history.
I have a question for you.
Thank you.
And okay, so I heard you said you did a couple of scriptures. Are you just limited to religious quotes, or are you into creating custom artwork? Okay, say like for myself, I'm with Blueprint Productions. If I wanted to inquire of your service, would you be able to create something for my business just for wall art?
Well, I haven't really done any particular wall art, but as far as custom quotes that are not religious, yes, I could do that. So yeah.
Leave your information in the comment box.
Yes, please leave your information in the comment box. And so thank you so much, Leanne, for coming on. And
Thanks for having me.
Of course, we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Miss Arizona, you just keep hitting these lines. She said, I'm about to misquote you, but it was good. Basically saying that your words frame your world. I said, yes. She hit the lines, right? You have a book that just full of them.
Thank you. Thank
Miss
you.
Arizona I buy it.
So we're about to bring on another entrepreneur. We have Andropolis Caracas. So go ahead and tell us about what it is that you have going on in your business. And
yeah, so this is kind of weird for me because I'm closely working with two of the guys on this panel. So I guess this is like another plug. It may be I'm another founder of Blueprint Productions. I'm on here with Kenny Pratt at the top here, and Zach. We work closely together with a lot of things right now. So basically, I'll just reiterate what he was saying earlier about us. We're pretty much a production company, a band. We started primarily as a band, a group of guys that love music, and we was on the same path of making music and doing music, and it started primarily there. So we had a vision that came together, and we came Blueprint Productions, and that was about 6-7 years ago, and we're still here. And We do anything from weddings, parties, corporate events. We primarily grew up as a church band first. Like a lot of people in that Central Georgia area know us primarily for being church musicians. But we're kind of branching off now, trying to get to the position to let everybody know exactly who we are, what we really do. I love the show. I have nothing more to say because you guys are answering the questions, you're giving them the information. Primarily for us, it's the issue of marketing. We've been branded as a church band and only catching a lot of gigs here, but there's a lot of things behind the scene that we've been doing, dealing with everything from, like he said, live service with the COVID-19 hit, and they put us in a position to do a lot more work from marketing, you know, anything from graphic designing, logos, you know, we do security services, music lessons is a big thing we have going now behind the scenes we're about to come forward with. So really we're here, and I'm here to like get advice on marketing and seeing what we need to do. I heard about the prices earlier. We have issues with COVID, dealing with different scenarios with pricing and all of that. So that's kind of in a nutshell. I'm rambling here who we are, Blueprint Productions here.
So I know you said you had a question about marketing, so we'll let you sort of speak to that. So how do you market a multifaceted production company that does live work? Like I say, it's an umbrella of things like Arizona was talking about. It's an umbrella of things that Blueprint Production does, that they are capable of doing. But so how do you market that to a different market than just necessarily the church?
Actually, Zach, that's a great question, but I want to pass that question to the panel because we're actually looking for ideas about that. We're actually getting into the position now to looking forward to a lot of ideas about how to market, how to show people that we're more than a Middle Georgia church band that's running everything pretty much from Bed Austin near Atlanta. But that's as far as to get with gig, and they know anything about my guy Kenny. You know, this guy can do anything from, he can take your engine out. He cut hair. He does everything. He can change a plane engine. I mean, he does everything, and he's bringing
everything.
Everything. He's making like y'all. I don't even want to put it out there yet because we haven't promoted it, you know. But this guy, we have a lot of things. So I mean, what do y'all have for us on how to put this out? Help us to be seen different.
So we'll start with Courtney on that.
So I'm a brand girl through and through. I live for a good brand Bible or branding guide. So that's your first step. Who are you at your core? Who do you serve? Really know what that is, what that feels like, what that looks like. Sit down, write it out, right? Make it tangible. So if somebody was asking you, so what do you do? It's in a one sentence punch that encompasses everything that it says about your brand. Next, do you all have a website yet?
That is literally in the works. It's been in the works for about a month and a half, maybe. I just spoke with the guy yesterday. He's putting the finishing touches on it and getting our numbers together as far as like what it's going to take to maintain it and all that good stuff.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's your second step. After you've, settled in on who you are at your core, who you're serving, you have it in tangible words that you can share with people, where they're able to patch onto your vision, again, just in a couple of sentences or less, making sure that you have a website that functions strategically and that it exposes the various parts and aspects of your brand and of your company while offering clarity as to how they can contact you, how they can move forward with your services, and again, just interacting with your brand before they ever interact with you as an individual. Then lastly, as a new company, I'm a firm believer in harnessing the power that you have around you, right? So you want to break out from the church community. Who are the people within your circle that are already outside of that church community that you can connect with? What types of events? There's so many virtual events going on, by the way, right now. What types of virtual events can you get in on as a thought leader? As kind of like what we're doing here tonight. We're just sitting here and talking about the different things that we know, and exposing ourselves to a whole wide range of people that, we have never interacted with potentially, right? So how can you have that same effect and impact? If you do have a budget for advertising, then there's definitely, I can sit down with you and show you some things in terms of doing some targeted ads where your services are shown to specific people in specific area codes with specific interests and job titles, literally. It can get just that detailed if you have the budget to do that in terms of marketing. But yeah, so just to go back through that, settle in on your brand guide, who you are, who you're there to serve. Make sure you have a well-functioning website that fully expresses, again, that mission at its core, how people can move forward with you, what you have to offer them, and then use the community around you till you're at a place where you're able to throw some money behind your brand and getting it out there on digital.
Okay, so any questions?
How much was that consultation?
I actually offer free consultations. So shoot me an email, courtney.comarketing@gmail.com. I also have it here. You can also look me up on Facebook or Instagram, courtney.comarketing there as well. And you can book a free consultation.
Okay. And Courtney, put your information. I know you have to you have another consultation meeting that you have to get to. So we know you have to get off a little early. So thank you so much for your advice, and I'll definitely be in touch with you.
Thank you all so much for having me, and I will drop that in there now. Good night.
Good night.
Now, I have a question for Mr. Andropoulos. How you doing, man? I just spoke to you a little earlier. But this is a realistic question because we literally work hand in hand. How important is it for a team, a business, small or large, to be vocal and verbal via social media at this specific time, especially with the pandemic going on?
Kenny, that is a great question. That is a sneaky question, I would call it, coming from
It is. It is.
But it's a great one because I'm here tonight, and I'm more like an introvert. Because of what I do, I often think like sometimes if you have a business, but you're like quiet spoken about it, or you're not outspoken, or you're not into social media, just saying things, does it affect like your marketing strategy, like people connecting with you? Like you can be the best musician around, and yet and still they can't connect with you. Nobody wants to approach you. They don't talk to you. I'm beginning now to see that it's very important, though. I think it's probably one of the most crucial areas of what we're doing now that I begin to be seen and be open to speaking and talking with different people, personalities, showing people who I am. Pretty much is the issue.
Because I really think Drop has been playing the organ, keys, bass, clarinet, flute, everything for years, and he is a master musician. And this is probably some of y'all's first time hearing him talk. So that's what Pratt was getting at, like how important. And Mr. Johnson, if you add on to that, how important is it that a business owner have a social media presence, not necessarily as it relates to their brand, but just their personality? How important is that?
I think it's good because it's very important. Let me say that because that's how some people relate these days. That's just it. I mean, so the first thing anyone is going to do is Google you, right? I mean, that's it. If you tell me Arizona White, I don't even got to sometimes ask for your number. I'm just going to end up Googling you. When people, Zach, I have people that put me down for references, or either when they want to get an urban CEO some money, they didn't call me. They went to all my social media. And said, yeah, man, I see you doing good things down there in Macon. I'm like, what? And so here's the thing. Let me say this, and this is what I want to be very clear. You do not have the privilege to be irresponsible with your digital platform. Mm-hmm. And what happens is you may be good, but I can't bring you in here if my people seeing you putting some crazy stuff on. Yes, it's your personal page, but when you put it on the www, it's everybody's business. We got to start thinking about how many people have lost their jobs, how many athletes have lost scholarships. So we have to be responsible with our platforms as well. It's okay to tell a joke every now and then because you show you're human. Most people that's probably watching know our pastor. So I might put a hip hop line or quotable, but I have to be careful that I'm not putting that with derogatory language in there, right? So it is very important, but it's also very important that you are not loose with your social media platform. You have to be very careful with that, man. I know people who have lost deals because just going through that thing. So you just put some up there that relates to you. And I also want to say, out of your value system, I think Pratt, I'm gonna call you Drops, and Zach said Drop. Y'all also gotta be, as y'all expand, like, okay, what's your value system, right? As you expand, yeah, we want to do more than church, but how far are we gonna go? You see what I'm saying? Because
I can answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, you right. Yeah, go. I mean, I got you.
Yeah, for us, we want to expand, but we don't want to overstep our faith boundaries. We don't want to do anything that diminishes our faith or diminishes humanity or nothing like that.
And I
nothing
disrespectful. I knew that. I just kind of did it for other people who watching it. Because sometimes some people get on there and be like, I'm doing Never Would Have Made It. And in that 10 minutes, ain't nothing wrong with a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. I can deal with that or whatever new y'all can tell, But in the next minute, they straight tear the club up. And they be like, whoa. And so it don't hurt your business on one end. Because all it taking this YouTube world or this quick Instagram world is, and I like to have a good time. I like to part in a reasonable amount. That's all I'm saying. I knew that. But I think for the people watching, we also got to realize it's my page. I can do what I want. You can, but you'll be broke.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, I think as it relates to the music and with most, I think, and we're going to have a conversation about this very soon, about the line that most people like to draw between musicians and secular music and playing in the church and playing, in secular arenas, as they call it. But my conviction is this: as a musician, as a person who is new to the entrepreneurial endeavor, like you said, once you create a value system for your business, you can be a successful musician in the church, and you can be a successful musician at Brookhaven Lounge, and you don't have to feel convicted or feel some type. If you feel convicted, then let it be a personal conviction, not a public condemnation because someone has said you shouldn't be doing that. Because once you've instilled that value in yourself, no one should be able to change it for the good or for the bad. So I think very good point.
And I want to add.
Go ahead. Just one thing. Here you go. That's good because I had young musicians at my church, and they actually were doing both. And we are faith people. I'm gonna say this and keep moving, but they felt like God had just moved them to the point where they only were just going to do maybe like weddings and literally like just keep it with worship. But that was, as you said, a good word. That was their conviction. And everything that's not done to that, like I said, we want to get churchy or too preachy, but I totally agree. Yeah. Go ahead, Zone. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. I wanted to just go back to the importance of social media. One of the key things about social media that we have to understand that it is a platform to allow us to introduce ourselves to the world, because people do business with people who they like and know. So even if they don't know you personally, they've never met you face to face, but when people interact with you online, they feel like they know you. And so I've gone into the grocery store and people are like, hey, you're my friend on Facebook. Like I didn't know them, but they felt like they knew me because of that interaction. So, it's important that as you're building your business is your brand, and you are your brand. And so you want people to be able to feel like they get a sense that they know who you are, they understand your values, and they know your convictions based off of what you post. And so it's a free way to market your business. And I tell people all the time, as a realtor, I was paying $500 to $600 a month, advertising on a particular real estate website. But once I started posting, my business on social media, that's money I save now, because that marketing those marketing dollars I put in other areas now because I'm able to build my business on social media at a very low cost, if not free. So social media is very important. And even if you look at during this pandemic, social media has been the key outlet for most businesses. Even think about church. I mean, if it were not for social media, what would be the other options for church right now? So social media is very powerful. It's free, and it gives you an opportunity to reach people across the globe that you would never get access to any other way.
Okay.
I have a question.
I'm gonna ask Drop to stay on, but I do want to go ahead and let Mr. Hudson go ahead and present his business. But Drop, can you stay on for a little while? Okay, and just in case we may have some questions for Mr. Hudson. Mr. Hudson, how's it going?
What's going on, man? How's everybody on the panel? I know most of you all.
Yes,
What's
sir.
going on, fellas? Young lady.
Doing good.
Yeah. So I guess my business is Arizona. My big huge business is Higher Images of Georgia. I'm a licensed drone pilot, so coming into the market and making it was really weird because nobody really wanted to buy my product, so I had to kind of work backwards. I remember going to the Cherry Blossom Festival, giving them a business plan, presenting them what I could show them, and they said no. So I went and shot it anyway. And then I came to them after I captured the footage, and then they wanted to purchase. I did the same thing with the Pan African Festival, same thing with the Cherry Blossom Parade. I would ask people, did they want to do it? They would say no. So I'll say, you know what, let me go get this footage, put my logo on it, and then present it after it was over with. So I say all this to say that, that's how I started off with them. And now I have contracts with each one of these big events each year. But I know y'all was talking earlier about putting value, about the value of your business. And I do realize that if you don't value your business, nobody else will. I'm genuinely a nice guy. I try to help people out any way I can. A lot of times, certain projects, people just don't have the budget to pay for what my service may cost. And, a lot of times I'll just do that work for them because I do believe in building relationships with people in business. When you build a relationship with people and you're just a good person, the money will come. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as my business. And I know we're talking about market prices, which is hard right now making because it seems like a lot of people making that professional quality want amateur prices. So that's what is kind of hard to deal with when it comes to making. And then even in the business, just the videography business in itself that has nothing to do with the drone, nobody understands how much work actually goes into putting a 5-minute clip together. Like it literally is a lot of work just to get that done. So what is your advice on just, I guess, the price point for making?
Well, I would like to say that
Can't hear her. I don't know why.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I don't think you can.
Okay, I think my.
Can you hear
Can
me,
everybody
TJ?
else hear me?
Yeah, I hear
can
you.
hear.
I can't hear.
You can't hear me?
Pratt, you talking?
I wasn't. I'm talking now.
Yeah, I can hear everybody but her for some reason.
You can't hear me? Can everyone else hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You can? Okay. I don't know what it is.
The devil.
There you go. I got it now.
Okay.
See, I called
So you casted them out. Okay, power. But what I would say is a lot of times when you have a business that people are not that familiar with, when it's a new technology and people have not had the experience before, then sometimes you have to paint the picture for them. And I love what you did when you said you went to the Pan African Festival and you went to the Cherry Blossom and you actually provide the service and actually went back to them after the fact and showed them, okay, now this is the value that I provided to you at no cost. Do you now see the value? Do you now see how this particular service will add value to what you already have? And so sometimes you have to paint the picture for people because a lot of times they don't understand the value of something until somebody else values it. and I'll say that again, sometimes people don't value things until someone else values it. And so that's why you have to paint the picture for people. That's what sales is all about. It's about showing people that what I have, you need it. And the best way to do that, and you've already demonstrated it, you showed them that they needed your product by saying, look, I did this. This is the added value that you will receive as a result of utilizing my services. And then you have to show people. And even giving them giving them those comparisons. Like you said, maybe they did consult with the amateur. That might have given them very low prices, but you've got to put your business side by side with their service and say, this is what they can give you, and this is what I can give you. Do you see the difference in the value? So it's just all about creating value and painting the picture. And sometimes you just have to demonstrate the vision for people. A lot of times people can't see what you see, so you have to paint the picture for them.
And I want to follow up with that, because I'm reminded of this adage of Picasso in the park painting a picture, and he was in the park painting a picture of some trees and of nature. And this lady walks up to Picasso and says, "Wow, that's an amazing picture. Can you paint a picture of me?" So he paints a picture of the lady. Within 15 minutes, it turned around, and the picture, I don't know what that is, but
somebody typing hard.
Yeah. So he walks in, and the lady, he shows the lady the picture that it took him about 15 minutes to paint, and he tells the lady it'll be $10,000 for this picture. The lady clutches her proverbial pearls and says, $10,000? It only took you 15 minutes. And Picasso looks at her and says, no, it took me a lifetime. So I think that is a philosophy and a business principle that we all should look at as relates to placing value on what we do, be it music, be it your drone work. And TJ, I'll go ahead and tell you, you're in high demand, honestly, because you can make your demands, and most people are going to succumb to that. But I think, like everybody said, placing value on what you do, be it consultation, be it music, because as musicians, they don't count the rehearsal hours when they talk about paying you. They don't count the hours that you have to learn every lick in the song, or when they talk about paying you. So there are several components to adding value to your brand. So that's what I would add to. I know Pratt, you was about to add to that.
Yeah, TJ, I just want to let you know, man. Like, honestly, when I moved to Georgia a couple years ago, I was like you, bro. Like, I ain't really know too many people. Like, I met a lot of like real nice musicians, like dope players, killer players. But I did the same thing you did. I didn't know anybody, but I would hear about different events and I would just go, And I think it was one time I played for one person. It was, it wasn't even scheduled, And from there, I just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going, doing all this free stuff, free, until finally, God, did what he did and started turning some stuff around. But the point I'm trying to make is I did the same thing you did. And sometimes it will take doing stuff for free so people can see what you're capable of doing, man. So my encouragement to you is don't lose hope, don't lose faith or nothing like that. Like, keep going, because they may not see you right now, but they're going to see you eventually, So just keep going. And that I know of, nobody doing what you're doing. So you definitely sit at the top of the food chain. Nobody doing what you're doing.
I don't know of anybody.
Yeah, and if it is, they don't look like us. But anyway, I got to just say that. Man, I don't know how much to add, man. I just want to encourage you guys, man. I always enjoyed your grind from afar, even when we, have our discussions and everything. I always respect you and your grind. I think the one thing I would say, what you've done it, like you said, okay, let me show you what I can do. And sometimes, man, you have to even give somebody a one pager. It might be good, man, for maybe you throw this out, or maybe Zach may do this later on. What does it take for production to really take place? You know what I'm saying? I remember when I went into full-time ministry, man, like, people think like that you can have whoever you want. And Zach would know this. I think his parents, minister level, like for them 30 to 40 minutes, you know, my people probably say I'll take an hour. But for them 30 to 40 minutes that you up there, man, sometimes it's not even about what you're going to say, it's what you're not going to say. Mm-hmm. And so I get it. So I'm using it as a parallel of even editing. Like you said, to get this 5-minute product, I had to go through film. Film had to match this up. And sometimes you have to, that's what I'm going back to what Arizona said about paint the picture. That's kind of tough to do when you're trying to like make a business thing to some people. But you may want to just say, hey, for the average, whatever. You know, I think for the average sermon, they'll tell you the average sermon they say, I'm just using this as an example, either between 17 hours a week probably or more.
If you do it right.
Yeah, if you do it right.
Yeah. And I trust me, because listen, we don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, I know. I just letting them know
you can tell you can tell when someone has not prepared, not just in preaching, but just musically. Exactly. You can tell when a person is not prepared for what they are about to do.
Yeah.
So,
and people like you, Zach, Drop, Rat, you make it look so easy, but people don't realize the hours and hours. Like everybody see Kobe and Mike, LeBron, them scoring 40. They don't see the 3 hours in a hot gym. You know what I'm saying? So stay encouraged, brother. Stay encouraged.
Yeah. I have a question, and this question,
man.
And this question is for everybody because I struggle with this myself.
Let me let TJ go ahead and get off. I think he got to make a run.
Okay.
TJ, appreciate you, man.
Thank y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Okay, now here's my question, and this is legitly realistic. Because like I said, I'm asking for this because I'm literally a standoff, humble type guy. But at what point, and I need to see how to ask this the right way. At what point should you kind of make it your business to market, but don't allow your marketing to be confused as arrogance?
Man, I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying what the results are. Hey, this is what I've been able to do. It started here. Unless you can do, particularly in the musical phase, we're going to kick Maisha out the show. But anyway, I'm just joking, Maisha. But I think, Jenny, what you all may want to do is get testimonials. And so now what happens is the testimonials speak, hey, can you write 2 or 3 lines about how, with your experience with the professionalism? We're here on time. We stop when you want. And so now other people, now Arizona is the market, but I think that's it. I have a hard time too. And Arizona had to tell me like, nah, bro, like you know how everybody, but because we humble, we want whatever. And so I think that you get somebody to do it for you. Like it is what it is. Like that's it. So Arizona might be in a better position, but what I've learned from her, our good friend Janice Anderson up in Atlanta, is people can't argue with results. And what you do, you find it, you put it on there, you put clips on your website, but nothing beats a testimonial of somebody else saying that. You know what I'm saying? Arizona, I think.
Yeah, I want to say that's a really deep-rooted question, because really, if you think about it, that's more of a cultural thing for us.
True.
I mean, if we really dig deep into it, other cultures don't have these conversations about, can I say that I did a good job? Others don't. When they do a good job, they are free to say, I did that well, and everybody claps with them. Mm-hmm. That's a cultural issue that we have in our community that I actually hate. If someone does a good job, and here's the thing about human nature, everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be affirmed. Everybody wants to be accepted. I don't care who you are. Everybody wants those things. So if I do well, I should be able to say, I did that well. If you do well, I should be able to say, you did that well. And so I just feel like it's a cultural thing, and it's unfortunate that when you do well, you have to think about, are people going to think I'm being arrogant because I said I did something well? They will take your testimony about how you failed all day. They'll sit there and listen to that all day.
That's good.
But when when it comes to you saying I did something right, then people say she's arrogant, she's stuck up, she thinks she's better. No, I'm just acknowledging the fact that I love me just like I love you. And if I can tell you that you did a good job, I should better tell myself I did a good job. That's to me, that's self-care, that's self-love.
Yeah.
That's just acknowledging the fact that I worked hard, I put in the time, I got the results that I worked for, and now I want to say I did a good job. And that should not be a problem with that.
Hey, Zona, is that everybody? We believers. I think even God said, he looked and said,
it is good.
It is good.
That's good.
That's good.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have that problem.
We know.
We got to bring you back a little bit, probably.
Yeah. if I can do it and do it well, you will know about it. If I can't do it well, you're gonna know about it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100 now. But
yeah,
that's
something we've got to do better with as a community, as a culture. I mean, we just really got to do better with that. I mean, it should be we should not down someone for saying I did a good job.
Yeah,
God, and just like God even said, and it is good. He did it, and he clapped for himself. So
we're going to make sure that because the universe can also align our purpose for going.
Oh my Lord!
So
I'm muting my phone on. I'm
not going to go down that road, but we have Maisha on, and I
love it.
Have two of my best friends on at the same time. So,
who are they, Zach? Who are they?
Maisha, how's it going?
It's going well, sir.
You what now?
I say it's going well.
That's good. So tell us about what you have going on.
Okay, so my venture it's a little bit different from some of the other people that spoke. I just started my nonprofit organization. We just got it legalized, thanks Arizona. And also with my nonprofit organization, it's a mentoring program for preteens to young adults. Gearing from things from self-esteem all the way to helping them with job, how to present themselves for a job, building confidence and things like that. Also, I'm aspiring to launch my life coaching business and also image consulting. Eventually, I want to kind of merge those, even though they are separate. One would be for a charge and the other one would be like a mentoring program, but I feel like they both go hand in hand. But I launched my mentoring program. I've always known that I want to do something to help others. But what really motivated me, I know all of you guys, but for the ones that don't know, last year in February, I lost my only child, my daughter. And she was 21 years old. So the name of the nonprofit organization and the group, and I also started a Facebook group to help me launch my program. But the name of the program is called BU equals Pi. Her name was Pi, that was her nickname. Well, Pi stands for Purpose in Everyone. And anyone that knew my daughter, she was very unique, she was herself. And a lot of people struggle with identity because they may be different or they may not be classified as different, but they still struggle with their identity. So I want to, let everyone know that there's purpose no matter what you're going through, no matter how you were brought up, no matter how you feel about yourself, there's still purpose in your life. In my group, that's what I preach in the group. That's what I, instill in everyone that's in the group. But I want to turn that group, the same thing in the group, I want to also do that in my mentoring program and also with my coaching business. So my struggle is getting started. Actually, I took a few of the first steps, but actually getting started with my mentoring program and my business.
Okay, so what exactly is the question?
Like getting started, and me and Zach talk all the time, and I talked a little bit about it with Arizona. I'm kind of like all over the place. I want to do so many things. I'm also working on a book. Just getting started and making sure I'm staying on the right path and still accomplishing all of the goals that I have, because to me they all go together.
Well, I answer that. I go ahead, Pat.
What I was gonna say, as far as getting started, it ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's number one. I'm pretty sure if the young Miss Courtney was still on here, she'll tell you to target your audience, target the people that you want to reach. So my thing is to just do it, write it out, and make sure you see your goals. And also, I would honestly look at some other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing, the same thing that you're inspired to do, and see what steps did they take in order to succeed. Just so you'll know what you're up against, you know, the pros and the cons, and you know, finding what best works for you. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Hey, what's the other business, Maisha?
Life coaching and image consulting, and I have one client already. So just making sure that, you know, just actually officially starting it and making sure I'm doing everything correctly. I've been doing research, but I don't really know what steps to take, like the websites, you know, paperwork and all of that stuff. I know I would need to meet with someone in order to get all of that set in place.
Well, you want to go first, or want me to go?
Yeah, I can take that. Well, congratulations, Maisha. I know that you've been planning to do this for a while. I'm really glad that you stepped out and took the first step. So that's the key thing, is that you've already taken the first step. So as we've spoken about privately, you do want to move forward and do a 501c3 so that you are able to get grant funding and to be able to get that tax exempt status to be able to do the work that you want to do in the community. What I would say, of course, you know, once we do the 501c3 and you do your website and you actually sit down and just kind of plan out what your vision is, that's the key thing, is just writing the vision so that you know exactly what it is that you want to do. And that's going to give you direction. And when you see that on paper and you're able to read it, that's going to feed your passion. And that planning is so important, because that planning is what's going to give you the practical things that you need to be able to move forward. One of the things that I would recommend during this pandemic is to do a virtual lunch party where you can do it Zoom or however you, Facebook Live, or however you decide to do it, but you can have young ladies to register to be a part of this virtual workshop, where you can come on. It can be young ladies. You just determine who you want to target with this particular one. Because from what I understand, you may be reaching young women as well as older women, because you have a story to tell that can inspire and empower other people. So I see just women in general can be your target. Young women as well as older women can be your target. So it can start as simple as having them to register for this online virtual workshop. You can launch it by telling your story and telling why you wanted to even begin this nonprofit. You can come in and do, you can even do a virtual fashion show where you're just kind of displaying some of your fashion tips. I know that you're very good at thrifting and, you know, and showing people how to save money and be fashionable at the same time. So that virtual piece there, you can, at the same time, you can have 2 or 3 ladies there that you're actually having as your models to demonstrate how you're able to do the fashion piece. And then that workshop could even be on, and I'm, of course, y'all know me, I come right off the top of my head with stuff, but it can even be thriving on a dime. You know, we're in a pandemic. People are having to save their money. People are having to be creative. So you can show your thrifted pieces, show them how you were able to put together a $10 outfit and make it look like you spent $1,000 on it. So just begin with where your heart is. Your heart is telling your story. Your heart is reaching other women and inspiring and empowering them. Your heart is in fashion. Bring it all together in that one platform, and that's your lunch party. Your business should mimic who you are. Yeah. Especially one like this, because it's coming from your heart. And this is, I mean, we've watched your evolution. I mean, it almost brings me to tears. I've actually sat back and watched how God has brought you from that broken place to where you are now, where you're still healing. We've watched your healing process. So now you're able to pour that into somebody else. How God brought you through it, you can now pour it into somebody else. And like I said, the easiest way to do it virtually, and you just be you, just like the name, be
Yeah,
you.
I think
And
the
that's
thing too.
how you're gonna do it.
Yeah, I think the thing is too is, as Arizona said, you know, you basically gonna live out who you are in your business, right? That was gonna make you value centric, and so that's what it is with the urban CEO for me. Even though I have seeds, I sow seeds. Like that's right. When you get the urban CEO, the CEO really, of course, it stands for Community Empowerment Organization, but I'm making other urban CEOs. So that they can be urban chief evangelistic officer if you want to be in the church, chief equipping officer, chief empowerment officer. I don't care what you want to do with the E. Just do something, right? Other thing I would tell you, as you said, when you got vision and mission, write everything out that's in your mind, and then just start streamlining it. I'm a proponent of making your vision no longer than 2 sentences, so you can tell it real quick. Your mission the same. It's okay. It's gonna take a little time, and then what you also want to do is you want to surround yourself with like-minded people. It's good. You're a people person. I see that people like you. But here's the thing: you coaching, you might want to ask yourself, do I have a coach? See, what happens is most top level CEOs who make all these money, they have coaches. And what happens is we feel like we don't want to invest in ourselves, and we continue to get mad, but they're making the investment. So you may tell a coach, hey, this is all I got right now. What can I do? You know, they may be able to barter with you or anything. So it's like, or you may become a part of a mastermind group. I almost became a part of I almost started a mastermind. That's where you have a group of like individuals. Y'all, you know, you pay to get it. And they hold each other accountable for every 30 days, and you meet. So I would also say that, okay, this is where I'm at. I need to get my vision, mission standpoint, and then start building my strategy off of my vision and my mission. My next thing, let me get someone who maybe can pour into me or coach me as well. Some of your top coaches have coaches. Believe it or not, we the only, go back to the culture right back. Some of us in our culture. I ain't gonna do all that, and then we missing out on valuable opportunity. We missing out on exposure to knowledge. We missing out on somebody saying, "Don't make that mistake I made that one." That's the value of that. So, in closing, just invest in yourself. You say you've done a lot of research. Do that. If you're gonna do life coaching, read, find out how the brain works, find out just all that stuff. And you you can rap with me if you need to. I think Paul said you can holler at him too. But at the end of the day, definitely do that.
I'll probably be reaching out to all of y'all at some point.
and like I told Maisha in private, I think
that's it now.
Yeah. I also think going and just piggybacking off what you all said, I think passion is also a key component. And so when you have multiple passions about a specific thing, it's also important to focus on, like, pick one, like you said, streamline it and prioritize what's most important. And I listen to people like Warren Buffett, you know, and when he talks about how he make his investment, you know, yes, you look at the data, yes, you look at all of this, but he says, if it's not something that he's passionate about and it doesn't go into his 2-sentence vision, which is how he's built $1 billion portfolio, he don't do it. And so I think every person on this panel, every business owner I know, if they don't lead with passion, then it's going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to like a mental breakdown because you're trying to do something just for a profit and not from passion. So as I always tell you, I think you should focus on the what are you most passionate about right now, like that you are trying to monetize. And you don't have to answer it now, but you have to answer that question for yourself. Like, what are you most passionate about now that you can monetize or turn into a profit? So
that is good, man. Because here's the thing, Maisha, you can do everything you want to do. You just can't do everything at once.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say prioritize and make it, like I say, streamline it. So, Pratt, you all want to add to anything about this being CFOs, CEOs of a company? Like, what advice would you give her when there are multiple things that you want to do, but she's having a problem?
For me, I agree with everyone said about writing it out, making it plain. But this is one thing that
somebody's echoing. I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
Hey, Mike, just go to everybody that's not talking. Just go to mute. Yeah, there you
go. So of course, like everyone said, write it out, make it plain. But it's one thing that we really haven't tapped into, even though, all of it. Well, I know for myself, I'm still young at, being an entrepreneur. But once you have your goals and everything, make sure you surround yourself with like-minded people. The team that you get, make sure they have the same heart. I mean, granted, we're all different. You don't want a bunch of yes people on your team. You do need someone for checks and balances. But when you get to that point to building a team, whether it's one other person or 10 other people, make sure that they have your heart. And you're going to have to communicate that to them. Because I tell you, a failure of mine, this is realistic, was communication. I felt like, hey, I should only have to say something once, or if I say it once, wasn't clear enough, because we've ran into numerous situations where, hey, how we communicating, how we displaying our message. And so I would definitely say, make sure that whatever message it is that you want or are trying to convey, make sure it's very clear, because biblically, you already know what it says about writing a vision and making it plain. But naturally, if no one knows where you're going, you can't expect them to follow you. And so that was one thing that I ran into as a leader. And there have been many times, and we have two of the team members on here. They'd be like, Pratt, we don't know where you're going. We don't know where your headspace at. We see what you're doing, but we don't know where your headspace at. And so, I would tell them all the time, well, look, I'm taking off my bulletproof vest. Y'all say what y'all want to say. And honestly, I appreciate these guys for telling me these things, because number one, regardless of who you are, you're not going to know everything in your field. So you're going to need some help, eventually, but get all you can and learn all you can. But nevertheless, just to make it short, make sure your team has the same heart. And when it comes to communicating with your team, make sure that your vision is clear, because it'll save a lot of text messages. It'll save a lot of phone calls. It'll save a lot of conferences. I'm not going to say fights, because I don't believe business partners should fight, but I'm just being honest. It'll save a lot of things that could be prevented. I feel like proper communication should be called preventive maintenance. So that's what I would say.
I know I got my time about up, but as far as the vision and the mission, it's already stated. And even in I know Arizona's a part of my Facebook group, and that was kind of how it all began to even get ready to launch it. Even the members kind of can see the vision. It's just me strategizing, like I said before, and bringing it all together to really make this thing go full force. So
I have a question for you. Now, this is one thing. This is one of the problems that will always be brought to my attention as a young business leader. What are your intermediate goals? What are your what are your short-term goals? What are your mid-term type goals? And what are your long-term type goals? So my question to you is, do you have that in place?
I have it, but since we in the pandemic, some of those, they're still my goals, because I'm hoping this thing don't last forever. But I want to have a safe space for people where they can come and get help. They can come and get mentored. And we can offer, resources that we have for those individuals. I don't want anybody to be lacking self-esteem or confidence because they're different. That's one of my, main goals. And I want people to feel empowered. Us as women, it's mostly my group is women. And even if men need help, I'll have some men in place too that they can mentor them also. But a lot of people lack direction and they need help. And my main, how I feel that I can offer that is I'm a personable person. I'm understanding, I'm empathetic, and I have compassion. And a lot of people some people don't have that. So that's how I get people comfortable with me. Even my customers at my job, we build personal relationships, not just them coming shopping. We build relationships. So that's my goal, is to build relationships with people so I can help them. And it may be they end up helping me also, but that's my main thing, is building relationships with people so this thing can go further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good, Maisha. I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, no, because I was about to give some closing remarks, so go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say to Maisha, again, your preparation, which is all the things that you've experienced up until this point, your preparation and your passion is now propelling you into your purpose. And I'll say that again, your preparation, everything that you've experienced, everything that you've gone through, plus your passion is now propelling you into your purpose. And so this is a beautiful thing because it's not, like you said, it's not only helping you, but it's helping somebody else. So I just see that, the sky's the limit with it. I'm just excited to be able to watch you actually walk into your purpose and to actually use the things that you've gone through to propel you to where God is taking you. So I just applaud you. I'm proud of you. I'm here to do, anything I can to assist you because I see God in this.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Well, if I knew this was going to be a prophetic conference, I would have charged a little bit more. But thank you guys so much, and I do want to do.
What's wrong with you, man?
I
don't have good sense.
Yeah, I want to do take a small commercial break. So y'all just bear along, and then I'm going to come back. We're each going to get some closing remarks.
Hey, I'm Nick Farley, owner of Mind Blown Creations, LLC, where we believe in bringing vision to life and making moments last forever. Look, if you need graphic design, if you need a website, if you need photography, if you need videography, look, we are the team for you. I want you to go now to www.mindblowncreation.com, check out our amazing rates and our prices, and schedule a consultation today. We can't wait to serve you.
Okay, so thank you guys so much. Hey, Lily. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you so much to everybody who came on and shared about their business. We wanted this to be a sort of laid back night where we share some insight about different entrepreneur endeavors. We have Mr. Dominique Johnson with Urban CEO. We have Ms. Arizona White with Gateway Realtors and many other entrepreneur endeavors. We have Kenny Pratt in Andropolis with Blueprint Productions LLC. And we have Maisha Clark with BU equals Pi, a nonprofit organization. So thank you guys so much. And we will definitely see you all next week on Conversations We Need to Have.
Cool. Thank you, bro.
Good night.
So